Hello, I'm Jonathan Hollander, Artistic Director and founder of Battery Dance Company here in New York, and this is Battery Dance TV. Welcome. A couple of weeks ago, Battery Dance made a huge transformation. Since 2006, we've been running Dancing to Connect programs with youth in Germany every single year. And of course, these programs have been live and, what's the value of them is bringing American teaching artists and German students together in a wonderful kind of collaboration, bringing out the creativity in young people and giving them the opportunity to choreograph their own dance. And that was performed on a big stage before the community, the families, the friends, and that was the culmination of 20 hours of workshop time. Well, we're living in a pandemic, and the kind of transportation across the Atlantic, that can't happen. Also, a lot of issues around social distancing. So we spent months and months as a dance company trying to figure out how to transform this program meaningfully and trying to achieve the same kind of interaction with our German participants. And what we came up with is a virtual version of Dancing to Connect for refugee integration. And in the city of Kassel in Germany, Sarah Housepian, who's here with me today, and Antony Franz formed an incredible German-American collaboration across the ocean and across the continent. Sarah, you were running this program on behalf of Battery Dance. Where were you located? Take us into the space where you were in your control room, so to speak.
Yeah, I was doing the program live through Zoom in California. So the time difference from Germany to California was very different. I was getting up at 6 a.m. before the sunrise, and they were starting and ending their day at 3 p.m. And I basically kind of gutted a bedroom and set up lights, a studio, so that it was presentable through Zoom and able to teach in California while they were still in Germany.
Amazing. Antony, tell us what it was like. Where were you actually when this was going on?
I was in Kassel in the dance school Body and Soul where we had the rehearsals, and yeah, we had actually a really nice room with mirrors. We built the whole tech. We had a beamer and a laptop. We could see Sarah on the wall.
So Sarah on the wall.
Yeah, Sarah was on the wall. It was different, but it worked very well, and it was a really nice experience.
Antony, I know that before all this happened, you were in Berlin, and we began a communication on WhatsApp to try to tell you what we wanted to do and what the process would be. What was your background as a dancer that allowed you to be such an effective partner for us in this project, which you certainly were? What kind of background do you have that prepared you for this?
I started dancing in the age of 8 in Kassel at the dance school Body and Soul. And after I finished school, I studied contemporary dance and modern dance at the Folkwang University in Essen in Germany. And yeah, this was actually my education which prepared me for this kind of situations.
What was your first thought when Charlene Hackley reached out to you and said, do you want to work with this American dance company? What did she say to you? Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, she explained me a bit the program, and I just heard, oh my God, it's a company from New York. And I was like, okay, of course I'm going to do it. And it's in my hometown. I can see my family, I can spend time with them, and have the opportunity to work with people from abroad, with people from New York, and talented dancers and choreographers. I was just super excited.
Well, then we have the issue of, classroom management and relationship building, because we had German students, we had migrants, we had refugees, we had a mixed group. And I really don't think that those kids knew each other beforehand. Am I correct about that?
No, I think there was and Antony can say too, I mean, there was some that knew each other, but it was like, you know, two cousins and then these like, you know, a married couple. It was very sporadic. So maybe they weren't completely lonesome, but they definitely had a partner or two or were familiar. But overall, they were just so respectful to one another and just, they just all overall just like loved dance. So the common thread was there with the group, which just like really unified them.
Antony, were there any problems in the room? I mean, a lack of energy, or did Sarah freeze on the screen, or any of the things that we're all familiar with that happened in this age of technology?
I mean, there have been some technical issues sometimes, but they were actually quite short, and we had a lot of fun with it. And the whole atmosphere was from the beginning on really comfortable, and even Sarah wasn't there physically. She was the whole time with us, and she was guiding us through the laptop. Um, and it worked very well. And all the students, how they communicated, they were like, they are coming from different backgrounds and they are speaking different languages, but you couldn't see or feel it in the room because it was like a safe space for everybody and everybody was the same. And this was really, really nice experience.
It's hard for me to believe, you know, that such a tight-knit ensemble come out of these kids coming from different places. And I think also, like young people all over the world, their schooling or their life has been interrupted to some extent over the last, you know, since March or whenever the pandemic hit them. And so the emotional, psychological impact of being able to work together and put all the concerns aside. Did you feel that sense of relief, Sarah? Was that something that you could feel through the Zoom screen?
Yeah, it's actually it's awesome that you brought that up because just having an open dialogue with them and them expressing to me, like, you know, just how is this quarantine? How has it been? And we made a list of like feelings or things that they felt or like stresses, lonely, money concerned, anxiety, stress. We put all those together and just I feel like talking about it as a group, we were all unified and like able to feel the same things. We all were going through something, whether it was on our own or with a family or being affected by it. And we actually ended up using a large chunk of phrasing inspired by those words. And that was kind of the underlying message of the film that is going to be screened. But talking about they were just so happy to be together, to be dancing, to be creating, to be not locked in their home. And I mean, I was too, like I was able to, I was so relieved to be able to like teach and like reach across the world and being able to like connect with these participants.
You know, we're all living at a time of isolation, and dance is such an intimate art form that involves trust building and the sort of navigating of the same space. And it's just amazing to think that it was accomplished in this technological way. Antony, what did you think the end result would be? I mean, did you have a sense in your mind and your vision of what the final product could be? Because in this case, there's no stage and no public performance opportunity, how we normally end. So what did you think was going to happen in these little sections of choreography?
When we were talking in the beginning, or when I found out that you normally do an end performance on stage, I already knew, okay, it's not gonna happen because of Corona and the pandemic. So it was actually quite clear for me that we have to film it somehow, and to have an end product which we can give the students. And during the first week, I was a bit like, I was wondering myself if it works, if all the feelings and emotions are coming through the video, if the students are able to transport the whole process. But in the second week, I didn't have any concerns that it don't work out. So I think it was a good solution for this problem, and also nice for the students because they just have it. They can
That's
watch
true.
it
That's
anytime,
true.
and they can share it with their friends and family. And
So actually, we should tell our audience that the finished product is an edit, a creative edit of all of the material that Sarah and Antony and the students collaborated in creating. And Barry Steele, the technical director and production designer of Battery Dance for more than 2 decades, came into this project. He normally goes into the theater, works with the tech crew, gets the lighting, talks to the students about what kind of lighting do you want and so forth. Well, obviously, none of that was going to happen. So instead, he talked to Sarah. He watched many of the segments, the workshop, and together they figured out how to compile, how to bring these, I don't know, it's almost like pieces of fabric and sew them together into a finished work. And that will be premiered on American Week, which is a project of the American Embassy in Berlin, which is one of our wonderful sponsors of this project, along with the ERP Transatlantic Fund, which is a project of the government, the Bundesministerium für Wirtschaft und Energie. And the Schöpflin Stiftung is one more sponsor. And of course, most important of all in this case is the city of Kassel and Charlene Hackley, because without the kind of coordination that Charlene provided, choosing Antony as our fantastic man on the spot and finding the dance studio and then also getting the word out among the young people of Kassel to join. So all of these pieces came together, and then for I think maybe almost 2 weeks, Barry Steele and Sarah were in contact with each other, working out what was the logical way to put these various disparate pieces to work. And that will be online, and that will be available during American Weeks, which starts on the 23rd of November. What a perfect time to do it. It's Thanksgiving week in the United States, and a time for us to thank everyone around us, our community, the different parts of our society come together through peace, through understanding. And the message of this dance is exactly that. So I'm so happy that we could all come together for this conversation, and looking forward to seeing the brilliant work that you, Sarah, and you, Antony, have created with the wonderful participants in Kassel. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
thank you for having me.